Mushrooms and Dragons, Season 5, Episode 5, Healing Chronic Illness. This is going to be a final episode that we call a season, a finale. In this episode, we are going to use the Medical Medium website. And as you could see, there are articles titled Chronic Illness, Causes of Chronic Illness, Foods to Avoid for Healing Chronic Illness. And the dates of these articles go back to 2015, 2019. So none of this information is new information. We're just going to teach it because we don't believe that people know it. I'm going to do my best to break down chronic illness and healing from chronic illness to the best of my ability without getting my channel banned. So try to read along the lines with some of the things I'm saying, I'm hinting towards. Wait a minute. Where's the mushrooms and dragons? Ah, much better. So, what is chronic illness, and how do we heal from it? Chronic illness is really only a few things. We're going to start with man-made viruses, and in this video, we're going to dive deeper into that. And then there's bacteria with a popular strain called Streptococcus. And then there are toxic heavy metals, which are everywhere. And then there are poisonous chemicals, which there are so many types of poisonous chemicals, it's impossible to even imagine. What if they've been growing viruses inside of laboratories since before we were born? And right now, Epstein-Barr virus, which they call EBV, is causing many problems in our world. Imagine this. People who have been diagnosed with lupus, Lyme, mono, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, hepatitis C, fibromyalgia, thyroid nodules, brain tumors, glaucoma, were able to link those mystery problems to Epstein-Barr virus. Imagine that. All of these mystery illnesses, instead of being cause unknown, it said cause Epstein-Barr virus. Well, then people would know how to heal. Imagine this. Streptococcus, which is a bacteria having the ability to be inherited generation after generation after generation, all the way to you. So if any of those prior generations, great-grandparents, all the way down to you, have ever had strep, well then you would still have it because it is a living bacteria that never died. You may have had symptoms, maybe the symptoms disappeared, but yet the strep would still be there. And some of the problems that the strep would cause would be chronic sinus, UTIs, intestinal disorders, SIBO. What else could this Streptococcus do? It could give you styes, acne, chronic ear infections, pneumonia, chronic allergies, celiac disease, and diverticulitis. Toxic, industrialized, heavy metals. Toxic heavy metals are virtually everywhere and are present in things we come in contact with every day, such as aluminum cans, aluminum foil, batteries, metal cookware, old paint, even foods we eat. For instance, pesticides and herbicides, which are hard to completely avoid even on a strict organic diet, are a common source of heavy metals. As a result, most of us are carrying around heavy metals that have been with us for almost our whole lives and which have burrowed deep inside of our tissues. Unfortunately, it is these old metals, the ones that have been lurking in our system for prolonged periods of time, that pose the greatest threat. For example, over time, toxic heavy metals can oxidize, causing damage to surrounding tissue and promoting inflammation. They literally poison our bodies and can inflict damage on virtually every system and organ, including our brain, liver, digestive system, and other parts of our nervous system. Toxic heavy metals put an immense burden on our immune system, leaving us vulnerable to a variety of illnesses. While toxins of every kind are harmful, heavy metals pose a unique threat. Not only are they damaging in their own right, they are also a form of neurotoxin, a poison that disrupts nerve function and confuses your immune system. Heavy metal neurotoxins can inflame and irritate our central nervous system, especially our brain, causing multiple symptoms such as memory loss, brain fog, fatigue, depression. Toxic heavy metals can also promote inflammation in the digestive tract, releasing poisons into our gut as well. As if this isn't bad enough, heavy metals also serve as a source of food for viruses, bacteria, parasites, and other pathogens in our body. For example, heavy metals can serve as a feeding ground for Streptococcus, A, B, E. coli, C. difficile, H. pylori, and yeast cells. This can create an overgrowth of multiple bacteria in our gut, resulting in a condition known as SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, which is characterized by bloating, abdominal pain, diarrhea, constipation, and it can lead to nutrition deficiencies. Additionally, when viruses such as Epstein-Barr and shingles feed off of toxic heavy metals, this can produce symptoms such as tingling, numbness, fatigue, anxiety, heart palpitations, ringing in the ears, dizziness, and vertigo, as well as neck pain, knee pain, foot pain, pain in the back, the head, and a variety of other aches and pains that are often contributed to other causes. How could drawing blood be connected to chronic illness? It starts at conception. If the parents have viruses and other foreign invaders in their blood, well, then the child will inherit the viruses and foreign invaders into the child's blood. Throughout the pregnancy, the doctors will draw much blood from you. And then when you give birth, they will come and cut the umbilical cord immediately. When blood is being removed from our body, it is necessary to understand that a portion of the immune system is also being removed. Our blood contains white blood cells that are responsible for keeping the body strong and defending against sickness. When blood is drawn from the body, we lose many of these precious blood cells and are left with a lowered immune system and weakened defense mechanisms. When an individual is sick with a symptom, condition, or chronic illness, they need their immune system strong. When blood is constantly being drawn for testing, this can potentially weaken the individual and slowly worsen their condition. As their condition worsens, red flags are raised for their healthcare provider, and recommendation may be to draw even more blood to find out why this person is declining. This can develop into a vicious and never-ending cycle for some and become a revolving door of blood removal, leaving the body unable to recoup fast enough. Meanwhile, the very real cause of this person's chronic illness is getting stronger and stronger because the immune system isn't there at its full potential to defend against the real culprits of chronic illness. The Epstein-Barr virus is one of those culprits. What if the laboratory only needed one drop for your test? So if the doctor sent you for 7 tests, that would consist of 7 drops of blood. But they don't do drops of blood. They take vial after vial after vial after vial. What do you think they're doing with all the extra blood? How can deficiencies be linked to chronic illness? When thinking about children's health, we need to consider 2 things. First, it is important to strengthen your child's immune system so that it is ready to react appropriately when your child is exposed to a bug or a toxin. Second, start working on eliminating deficiencies in your child's diet. The health problems we have as adults partly stem from deficiencies we experienced in childhood. So it is important to work on these immediately to stave off any chronic illnesses that may crop up in the future. When a doctor tells you that you have deficiencies in a certain mineral or vitamin, what they should be telling you is that your liver has some problems. Just as your liver is meant to store glucose, it's also meant to stow away every single vitamin and mineral, as well as other nutrients, so that even if you're not eating enough of these nutrients in your current diet, your body can draw on the reserves that your liver held on to from an earlier time. If you're running low on vitamin D or B12, or you're deficient in any other vitamin or mineral, it means that your liver has carried you for quite a while and now is life living well of vitality and prosperity is finally running dry. Here is a list of toxic chemicals: mercury, air fresheners, scented candles, conventional laundry detergent, fabric softener, perfume, cologne, aftershave, fungicides, gasoline, pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, chemical fertilizers, lawn treatments, radiation. And here is a list of petrochemicals: carpet cleaners, chemical solvent solutions and agents, diesel and gasoline, dioxins, engine oil and grease, exhaust fumes, gas grills, stoves and ovens, kerosene, lighter fluid, liqueur, paint, paint thinner, and plastics. What if the chemicals were made with petroleum? And what if the petroleum had toxic heavy metals inside of it? Let's do a review of what chronic illness is. It is man-made viruses, many different strains of viruses. It is bacteria, which works arm in arm with the viruses. It is toxic heavy metals, which are everywhere in our world. It is poisonous chemicals, which are also everywhere in our world, and they contain toxic heavy metals. They poison the soil, and they create genetically modified food. They steal our blood, weaken our immune systems, and making us deficient in vitamins and minerals. Tell me now, how do we heal from chronic illness? When you wake up, the first thing that you do is you squeeze a lemon into your water. Then you wait a half hour, and then you make yourself a big glass of celery juice. And then you wait another half hour, and then you make the heavy metal detox smoothie. When you start your day with the lemon water, and then the celery juice, and then the heavy metal detox smoothie, this is what we call the morning cleanse. And this is a great way to start your day off fighting viruses and bacterias and whatever other chronic illness you may be dealing with. To help offset some of the deficiencies, we take supplements that our liver desperately needs. Supplements such as zinc or B12 are critical for good health. Mainly, the liver stores nutrients that the stomach and intestines have converted during digestion into forms your body could use. It's far more involved than just a chemical process that turns A into B. It's a process that takes a given nutrient and alters it for a specific use in the body and adds to it, bringing life to it, so that when the time is right for your liver to receive the nutrients through the bloodstream, it can take on those nutrients. Then they must be altered once again, this time by the liver, through a chemical process that prepares the nutrients for their crusade with a protective shield armor that the liver produces from specific antioxidants gleaned from certain healing fruits. This way, as they travel on their journey, they're not destroyed by toxins or held up too long by an overabundance of fat in the bloodstream. Finally, nutrients are ready for the liver to release them into the bloodstream so they can be delivered as precious, vital resources to organs and tissues throughout your body in forms that they could easily accept. After the morning cleanse, when taking your supplements, you should take either raw honey or pure maple syrup with it, because the pure maple syrup and the raw honey are like an express delivery service, bringing your supplements directly to your liver. What is your preference, raw honey or pure maple syrup? Let us know in the comments. Maple leaf and honey bear fight to bring balance to the blood sugar in the world of mushrooms and dragons.